move a muscle. I might be short, but I pack a mean punch, Captain. You're just in time. While I was lying in wait, I spotted this crook snooping around, trying...
Oh.
Are you... Potten?
What?
This is how Potten looked before his face was marred. His current appearance matches the mugshot.
Wait, so what's going on? Wasn't the whole point of the potion to disguise himself and escape Fontaine? Why would...
Enough of this nonsense! Let me in!
You better pipe down. There's an old lady in the...
To heck with it. Listen to me. I'm Rawat. That's my mother in there.
He's gotta be lying, right? Rawat was a victim in all this. He was forced into it.
Forced against his will? Heck, when I was being coerced, everyone thought I was colluding of my own free will. Amazing what a difference a handsome face makes.
Save us the speech.
You want an explanation? Fine. I'll tell it how it is. When I was just Potten, the whole world treated me with contempt.
Ew. What do you want?
Women despise me.
Collaborate? You don't look like much.
My peers scorned me.
Mr. Potten, was it? I'm most interested in your research. Consider my offer carefully. I doubt you'll find other investment opportunities.
Only villains would work with me.
You want out of the game? Forget about it. Turns out, I slipped up a little. Left your picture with some Marechaussee Phantom officers. So I suggest you put any thoughts of running away to rest. If you get caught by the guards for being in the synth business...
There was no way out for me. Until I could...
Mr. Rawat,
I became popular. This new potion you developed is fascinating. Genius, in fact. Would you consider working with me?
My peers looked up to me.
I'm very interested in your research, sir. You must no doubt have offers from...
And the villains even began to fear me. Becoming Rawat showed me what a superficial world we live in, but I did not hold a grudge. After all, this superficiality could be made to... Or so I thought. But alas... Mother, I'm back. How are you doing?
Oh, are you?
I bought the best medicine Mora could buy, but nothing would cure her illness. In the end, I hoped she'd at least be able to see her son one last time before she passed, but when everyone else rejected me, the only person who cared about me was my mother. Then, when I
have to let her see me again. Even if it means donning my own wretched, ugly face. Well, is that enough explaining for you?
Have you ever considered if you'll even be able... You found a way to completely change your idea.
Why would I want to give up on such a lucrative business?
So you kept being a villain just for the...
Villain? By what standard? Is doing... You have no right to judge me! You're all just fake people living in a hypocritical world! I regret nothing!
You're a villain to... Honestly, I don't see a villain when I look at your current face either.
Don't humor me. You don't seem surprised by me.
I didn't know anything for sure until you chose to take that potion bottle and spare our lives. But if you're... I had to confirm my suspicions. That's why I chose to...
Are you kidding me? A young, promising researcher and a wretched criminal?
Well, there were no visual clues. This potion's face changed, but I believe I understand humanity a little better than most of my kind. Humans have certain
fundamental qualities, huh? Most people probably don't know this, but I think I can guess what you used it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have...
Sigewinne? Yes, you're right.
I'll bet it was back in the days when Melazines were discriminated against. It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race, cast out... So you see, you and I...
That's not important right now. You came here to see your...
Huh?
A head nurse. I'm not sure that's a good...
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when I traded the potion for our lot, he was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange for the potion.
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother one last time.
All right.
Mom? It's me, Parte, your son. Mom, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were here, and it appears that due to her
What?
your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability to recognize you. But...
No, it can't be. Please, Mom, open your eyes. I've done so much to get to this point. No.
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all. It's you. Oh, of course.
Mom, why will you answer?
No more questions, Parte.
Mom? Mom?
I'm sorry to say this, Parte.
The wait is over, everyone! The sale of our new skincare
Another skincare promotion! And it's selling as fast. Oh, Sigewinne's here too! Hey, Sigewinne! Oh, Traveler Paimon, hello! Of course! Nurse's orders, right? Actually, I'm mostly here to help. Ah, that reminds Paimon. Nope, there's nothing to worry about. Besides, officers after consulting Monsieur Nervulette, I came up with a way to neutralize any harmful effects. Wow, it's
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse.
great! Good job, everyone!
Also, you mentioned you wanted a copy of her Watson after he saw his mother for the last time. It was like all his mental defenses came crashing down. He put up no resistance during the interrogation and answered all our questions. Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, their supplier was Vache. But you could also argue it made for a seamless collaboration.
Vache again, huh?
Make no mistake. The crimes of Vache and his accomplices, since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to after receiving numerous reports. We were able to zero in on the gang, and
That sounds more like it!
based on what he told us in his confession, he tried to throw us off his tail by reporting his accomplices. But there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Even though
So he tried this once before, huh? Guess he really did want his mother to see him again. Looking at the interrogation records...
yes, which is why I suspect that his initial motive for using the potion was not personal greed, but even so, he went too far.
I understand. Thank you for bringing me these records. Why did you want them anyway? Parte was one of my patients, so I need to put together a medical file for him. My teacher always stressed that a person's like... Why are you still treating him like your patient? Isn't he kind of beyond redemption now? That may be true, but a patient is a patient, regardless of the choices that bring them to my...
One last thing, head nurse. Please keep everything you know about. It would be for the best if most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence.
Of course.
Thank you for understanding.
So, Sigewinne, did you really use that potion? Why do you sound so surprised, Paimon? I told you... you mean that story about the witch? Yes, it really actually genuinely was. But... I know. There are some secrets I can't... Before I tell you, though, could you follow me somewhere? Of course! Oh, Nervalette and Risley, they're here too.
Good to see you, Traveler. Paimon. I trust all has been going well for you?
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office on important...
Is that genuinely something people...
Why wouldn't they? Important business is a big deal.
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about requires emotional support, after reading the Maréchal Phantom's...
Take note. That, my friends, is how Monsieur Nervalette shows that he cares. We're both here for the same purpose, actually.
So the old friend she mentioned was her teacher then? The witch? Oh, sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because Sigewinne...
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive,
Indeed. In fact, I believe Sigewinne would take it as a sign of affection. She has spoken of this doctor. In those days, many people harbored prejudices against Melusines.
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be here for
Younger colleague. Well, that might be true for the Udex, but I'm not sure I can say this. Sigewinne served a sentence in the fortress of Meripede hundreds of years ago, and after she did her time, she decided to stick around. She's been Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most people in the fortress, myself included.
She served a sentence?
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethical concerns. But now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Sigewinne had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was not...
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened?
Certainly. Sigewinne does not object to her close friends learning about...
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn as always. And prejudice isn't a disease I can cure either. Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there. You're laughable, you old witch.
Master...
I discovered a strange disease. One I suspect that every Fontanian suffers from. I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure, but I hit a wall. And as you can see, it took a...
Then I'll find a cure for you, and then you can go cure her.
There's no need.
But, Master...
As I said before, a doctor's duty is to treat whatever ailments they...
I know. But they don't trust me at all.
That girl. She's your...
I'll do whatever it takes.
Even if it means breaking the law and being punished for it.
As long as I don't hurt anyone.
Then I shall make one more final gamble. If I am able to work this miracle, if not, then it means I will leave you a parting gift. An accidental discovery.
When Sigewinne returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form. And after I had confirmed the veracity of the events,
So that's what happened.
I fear Sigewinne only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontaine. When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. After the final details of the events surrounding Sigewinne's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully...
Wonder how she feels about...
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters. On behalf of the Maréchal Phantom, I would like to once again thank the Fortress of Meripede for your...
Our head nurse and the Traveler in Paimon did most of the heavy lifting.
Sigewinne seems to be in good spirits. I trust work hasn't been too hard.
Well, she might be the only permanent medical staff in the fortress, but there's plenty of people with medical knowledge willing to help her out.
I am most relieved to hear it.
The way you're asking after her well-being makes you sound like a...
Well, I won't lie.
Showing your age a bit there, don't you think?
Indeed. Actually, I often forget just how much older I am.
Well, while we're on the topic, what did you do before getting this job anyway? Spend all day swimming in this...
Yes, and, from the surface to the ocean floor on occasion.
Wow.
Apologies, that was merely an attempt to...
That's impossible, I'm afraid.
You're here. The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is an empty tomb.
Sigewinne, the witch who gave you the magic potion, she was your teacher, wasn't she?
Sounds like Monsieur Neuvillette filled you in.
After learning the truth, it must...
Well, to be honest...
But she was planning to sacrifice herself.
That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to take their medicine...
Alright, but why did you turn yourself in?
I broke the law, simple as that. My teacher made her choice, and I made mine.
True. It's just... the way Parte framed it, you're not like him at all, and everything Neuvillette said confirms that. And yet, you were still convicted and thrown in prison.
Unfair? I happen to think just the opposite. If I hadn't served that time...
What makes you say that?
I knew you'd be curious. Let me... The verdict came down. This Melusine is guilty. The Iudex defended the authority of Fontaine law, but he did not confiscate the Melusine's medical kit. And so, the fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor. She still wore her hood and raincoat, even though it never rained in the fortress. Perhaps thanks to her human appearance, no one refused her treatment. She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter. Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her, and though her sentence ended, she did not leave them either. Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside world. The location seemed familiar, and when she arrived, an old lady was waiting for her. She saw right through the Melusine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so many people, despite being a Melusine?
Because I look like a human?
It's been 50 years, Sigewinne, and you haven't aged a day. I think everyone knows you are not human. I finally found you, after all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
But how? I was no longer a Melusine by then.
Does it really matter if you're human or Melusine? I remember the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable. And you know what? It hasn't changed one bit. You don't have to hide anymore, Sigewinne. These days, everyone wants to make friends with Melusines. And I think that it's all because of you. I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but thank you, Dr. Melusine.
Now that's an ending Paimon can get behind.
After hearing everything Parte said, I wanted to tell him that it didn't matter who he looked like on the outside. But it was too late. The warmth in his palm, I tried to treat him. But the roots of his problem had nothing to do with his face. I understand. Thanks, you two. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, there's one more reason I invited you here. in order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victim.
We don't...
Well, even if you chose to destroy it, I still thought I should give it to you first. You two did so much for me.
Well, fair enough, but still. If this is the very last bottle in all of Tevat, getting rid of it would feel like kind of a waste. Maybe we can give it a special meaning. Melusine physiology wasn't affected by the Great Flood, right? So that means the potion should have a permanent effect on you. After all, from a Melusine point of view, Paimon bets Melusines look like...
Paimon, after everything, do you really think it mattered?
What was Paimon thinking? You made up your mind a long time ago!
Leave it to me. I'd like to stay here with my teacher.